Good morning. I'm Dan DeRosa with 19 News, coming to you from our digital desk. We're taking you into court in Cuyahoga County. We're about to have a pretrial for Delonte Hardy. He is accused of shooting and killing Cleveland police officer Jamieson Ritter. This happened back on the 4th of July. In the courtroom, just to the right there, you'll see there is Chief Dorothy Todd, as well as other officers. And if just to the right there, you see his parents. We believe those are his parents, the man in the blue shirt and the woman sitting next to her. Pretrials generally pretty short, so let's get you right into the courtroom.
Hi, Mr. Ingalls and Mr. Ty. On behalf of the state of Ohio is Mr. Filiatro. We are here on the state's motion to hold the defendant without bond. Mr. Ty, I understand that your client is not in court today. Are you waiving his presence?
Yes, Your Honor. May it please the court, subject to an upcoming evaluation, we will waive our client's presence for the purposes of this hearing this morning.
Okay. And it's my understanding that you're going to be moving for him to be to get a mental health evaluation?
Your Honor, at this time, we would just waive his presence subject to an evaluation.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Filiatro, you've filed a motion to hold the defendant without bond. Have you had a discussion with the defense regarding this?
I have, Judge. Thank you. My understanding is that at the present time, the defense will not be objecting to this, subject to, possible reconsideration at a later time. But I don't think there'll be an objection to this today.
Mr. Ty, is that accurate?
Yes, that is. At this point in time, we do not oppose the state's motion for no bond at this point in time, and we will waive any hearing in that matter. Thank you.
So at this time, I'm going to grant the state's motion to hold the defendant without bond, and the defense can renew its objection at or make an objection at a later time. But at this point, there is no objection, and I'm going to hold the defendant without bond. Anything else for the record?
Not at this time, Judge. Thank you.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dan DeRosa with 19 News, and that appears to be it. We did not know what this pretrial was going to entail. It can be anything from evidence to what's going to be permitted to it can be ordering psychological evaluations. But this was simply about holding Delonte Hardy without bail. He was facing a $10 million bail, 10%, meaning he could have gotten out of jail on bond for $1 million. Apparently, the prosecution was afraid that could happen, and so they requested in this pretrial to hold Hardy without bond. You heard that his attorneys did not object to that at all. There was no argument to keep it at $10 million. And so the judge granted that request by the state to hold him without bond. So his $10 million bond has been revoked. And that was it. You saw his parents that are from New York. They were in the court for this, as well as Chief Dorothy Todd, some other officers showing support for the family of Jamieson Ritter. Let's remember, Jamieson Ritter was from New York, came to Cleveland with a friend, and decided to become an officer. He was previously a member of the military, and following in family footsteps, wanted to become an officer and did so here in Cleveland, not in his home community in the state of New York. And it was during serving a warrant for the arrest of Hardy that he was shot and killed. Let's remember that Hardy shot his own grandmother. She was in the hospital. They had the warrant for a felony assault for shooting his own grandmother. He also stole a couple of guns from her home, and that's when they went to serve the search warrant, the arrest warrant, very, very early on the morning of July 4th. When they found him, he ran from the house, jumped on a bicycle, started riding away, and fired a number of shots. The first shot hitting Officer Ritter he would later die. 3 other officers were nearly hit by the shots that were fired. That's why he's facing a number of charges, not just for the death of Jamieson Ritter, not just for the death of his own grandmother. She would die later that day on the 4th of July. And so that's why he's facing 3 counts of aggravated murder, 2 counts of attempted aggravated murder, 1 count of murder, 4 counts of felony assault, 2 counts of receiving stolen property, and 2 counts of aggravated robbery. We're going to wrap this up. Again, we weren't quite sure. Sometimes pretrials happen, sometimes they don't. And when they do happen, really there can be any amount of requests made for the judge. And in this case, it was to revoke the bond of Delonte Hardy. If we have any other breaking news, it'll happen right here on our digital platforms. Look for our 11 o'clock news coming up in just about an hour, then our noon news on Channel 19. Until then, I'm Dan DeRose with 19. Have a great day.
19 News is everywhere. Download our CTV apps and follow us on social media.